So if you've noticed, I've missed a couple of days uploading. I'm gonna show you why in this video. Let's go. This video is brought to you by these patrons. Thank you for your support. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you've noticed, there's been a couple of weeks that I have failed to upload, or if I've uploaded, it's been a shorter form video. And that is because I am busy re-networking my house. And in doing so, I decided to run a couple of lines out to my garage so that in the future I can do like live streaming and sort of that sort of stuff. Of course, that requires a laptop or something like that, but at least the wiring will be there. So I'm just going to show you real quick how kind of terminate the ends on this. This is Cat5e, category 5. And this is your standard Ethernet, and I'm going to show you how to do one of the termination blocks. This is called a Keystone block. So I'm going to show you how that's done and how to put that into the wall and whatnot. So the things to do that, first off, if you're doing this to old work, you get an old work box, and this is for low voltage. So what it's got is these little flaps that kind of sit behind the sheetrock when you start screwing these in place, just like that. And these are pretty easy to put in place. You just figure out where they want to go on the sheetrock. And there's a couple of little marker holes on these guys. You just put a little dot there, all four corners. And then you can actually use the edge of this as a straight edge, connect all those dots, and then saw it out with a saw. There's a special saw, which, right here. Okay, so you puncture your sheetrock with this, just kind of held up, bam. Puncture the sheetrock, and then you can slide this guy in there and tighten it down. Okay, and then once you get that done, you can check out right here. That's what it looks like when it's installed to the wall, and then you can run your wires through the wall into that. And this is like way too much slack, but you want to leave a little extra wire. It's just easier to work on. I'll end up pulling probably half of this back after this video, but let's show you what I'm going to do here. So if you've noticed here, I've got them marked. If you're ever using this label stuff, this plastic kind of falls off if you do this, so I'm going to tape that, but this shit's getting cut off soon. So some of the things that we're going to need is this is like a termination block. This is easy on your hands if you're going to be terminating by hand. We're going to be using the desk, but I'll still use this. So you need that. You're going to need a Keystone block with the covers. So there's your Keystone block. I've got another one off camera here. We're going to need a faceplate, and I've gone ahead and labeled this already. You won't need one of these, but I've got the cutter that I'm going to use, the stripper, so that's why I have this here. You could use this, just a regular old knife, but you do run the risk of cutting into the wiring. The other thing we're going to want is a punch down tool. So, and a Phillips head screwdriver. So, with that, this is not really a how-to video. If you want to use it as such, go ahead. But it's not meant for that. This is just me just using some of my very many skills. So for this guy, we want to use slot B. And if you look at this here, show you can see the wire coloring. So you've got to the left here, you got a blue stripe, and then to its right, a solid blue. And then you've got a brown stripe and a brown. There's the A and B here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see it's labeled. Let me see if I can get you in close there. Right there. Okay, so this is like 5, 6, 7, and 8. But there's also an A and a B. The A is on top, the B is on the bottom. And on this side, they're the same. But if we flip it over, the orange and the green are swapped. So we're going to use B. So it's going to be orange, orange stripe, green, green stripe. And that's where we're going to put them in these slots. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do that. It will go in here like that. It just kind of clips right here with this little clip. Okay, so we're gonna put this off to the side. We're gonna take our wire. I'm gonna start with garage wire 1, which is this one here. And the first thing I am going to do, because I've been pulling on this wire, and what I usually do is I fold it over and tape it like that. So I wanna cut off anything that might have been stretched. So I'm gonna use my cutter here and I'm gonna cut off just an amount. There's no real length to that. So now I'm gonna take this cutter and using the stripper side, I'm going to cut off, I don't know, what's this, like 2 inches, 2.5 inches. Okay, and I'm just gonna score it all the way around and then just peel it off like that. Okay, now we've got our 8 wires twisted paired, and we got all this. This is like a fiberglass or something like that in here. I usually just cut that out of there. We don't need it. Okay. Now, what I like to do is untwist these twisted pair, and then just kind of straighten them out a little bit. I don't tend to straighten these out as much as I do if I was terminating it with the what's it, the RG45. I can't even think right now. The normal ends there. And I guess I could show you a video of that too. That's like stupid easy. It looks harder than it is, but very, very simple. Okay, so we got that. And then what I like to do is just kind of train them so that they're straight. Again, you don't need to go nuts with this. This is just what I do. More so for the other ends there, but because we're using the Keystone end. Okay, and then this is cut, a nice little slot for a wire. You're gonna bring your wire right to about there. Okay, that's where I like to put it. So now we want to get our greens and oranges go to one, is it greens and oranges? Yeah, greens and oranges go to one side and blues and browns go to the other side. So blue and brown there, orange and greens over here. Okay, just to separate it. Then what we do here is go ahead and start lining these up. And I guess before I put those in a position where I gotta keep track of them, let me talk a little bit about the tool. This particular thing you can use with either a Krone or a 110, and what that is the blade. Okay, I'm gonna use a Krone tool for that, just because it's what's already in here. I like to use the Krone tool on anything that's like slanted inside here. And then we've got the cut side and the non-cut side. The non-cut side always goes in the middle, and then the cut side goes on the outside. So we want the cut side this way and the cut side this way, and then the non-cut side right in that little slot there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we want right here, the first wire, we want blue stripe. I'm gonna kind of stick that out to the side there, right like that. Okay, that's gonna go right there. Blue stripe. Next to that, we want the blue wire, so we'll grab that and put that right there. Okay, again, blue and brown is the same on either side. So now, what I mean by that is we don't need to worry right now about A or B. Okay, we will in a moment. All right, I'm gonna put brown in the top there, just like that, and then brown stripe right here. Okay, and this is what I was talking about, you know, worrying about what's falling out, because these kind of come out if you're not really pushing them in place, just like that. See that? So what I'm gonna do is, instead of trying to get them all in place, I'm gonna do one right there. So this is blue stripe. and I'm gonna punch it in place. Okay. I'll wait for that nice little pop, and your wire should be cut. Did it cut? It didn't cut. I don't know why you didn't cut. There we go. Okay. That's what the cut side is for. Okay, now it's pushed in, we're good to go. So now I'm gonna go to the other side here. We want B. So B is gonna be green stripe over here. So I'm gonna take that and pull green stripe right there. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and punch this right now. Line her up. Oops, there it is. Okay, perfect. That's better. All right. Now we want our blue over here. And some people like to put all these in one spot and then go back and punch them all. I like to do them like this. It's a little easier for me. Put the brown stripe over here. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't cut in the first shot there. And then the brown over there on the end, right there. So what this is doing, there's a couple of prongs inside of here, and it's pushing this wire in between the two prongs. And it pushes hard enough that it kind of splits the coating and creates a good contact. All right, so now we want, on this other side here, we want the solid green in slot, that's wire 6. There it goes. Okay, and then we've got orange and an orange stripe. We definitely want these right there. There it goes. Okay, and then orange up front right there. Sometimes these things don't want to cut. There it goes. Okay, so we've got that. Now you can go ahead and double check. Again, we want B, so we want the bottom row. Let me pull that out of here. So we want this bottom row, so we should have orange stripe, which we do, green, and then green stripe, which we do. And then this side, we want brown stripe, blue stripe. Okay, that's done. Now we're gonna take these little covers, and these guys just kind of line up in place and snap right in. Okay, snap that, snap that. Those are good and taut, just like that. Our wire's in there. Some of these have a thing where you can put a zip tie to hold this wire in place. This guy's not going anywhere. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, this is going to be garage wall 1. So I've printed up a nice little sticker, and we're going to wrap this, or re-wrap it. And then this time I'm just going to take a little piece of clear tape and wrap it around to keep the plastic from separating from the backing, because it doesn't like being wrapped this tight. Okay, so there's our number 1. So now we're going to take our little piece of tape here and just wrap this guy just to hold that together. Okay, that's how you do that. As wall plate has a up or down. You can barely see it in there, so that's up. And I'm I'm gonna put this one on top. The pin usually goes to the bottom, so that goes just like that. Oops. And you want to make sure that there's a bottom. There's a bottom thing here. We want to make sure that that goes in, locks in place, and then clips in place, just like that. Okay. And I'm gonna just kind of train that down a little bit, and I'll probably zip tie it to the other wire once we get that one done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the second wire off camera. So I've gone ahead and done the second one. As you can see, they're both in place, and you can see the little clip piece goes to the bottom, and that's the only way that they're gonna fit in this plate. Again, you got the up facing up. And really it's for the keystone to the plate. How you mount this, like it's not gonna care if you mount it like this or like this. Just the way these plug into the plate is the only thing that you gotta worry about. So now that that's done, we just take our 2 screws, our Phillips head screwdriver, and then we can go ahead and stuff these wires in here. Again, they don't need to be this long. Like this is probably plenty, just about a foot and a half out of here. But it's up to you, whatever you want to do. Okay, once we got that like that, take our screw and just send her home. And I typically use a battery drill for this, but on the face plates, sometimes you're just better off with the screw. So that's how to get a good clean install using the Keystone jacks. A lot better than using the RJ45 double enders into the panel. You'd have one going like this, one going like this. Just a lot better than that method. I don't like that. So I'm gonna go terminate the other ends of those cables and then test them out. And I have a ton more wiring to do. So if you guys are interested in more of this like networking type stuff, I can bring it on here and show you how to do it all. And it's just another skill that I have. I got a few of them. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button, because you only get to do it once and it's fun. And I'll catch you later. Peace.